Hey, put your phone up. The district manager's coming.
You talking to me?
Yeah, the district manager's coming, so put up your phone.
I don't care nothing about no manager. I don't care. This is a part-time job. I could care less. I don't care about
you being
that.
on your phone reflects bad
Listen,
on me, so don't do it. Put your phone away.
Don't act brand new
Put your phone
when the
away.
manager come around, because y'all know what y'all be doing here every day. I don't get no hours anyway.
And now you're not gonna have any hours. How
I don't
about
care
that?
about none of that. I'm gonna keep texting. I'm gonna act the same.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Do not be ashamed to get a part-time job while you feel your passion. And I say this also to myself because I was literally so stubborn and not wanting to give up my big girl job to work a part-time job to feel my passion. Even though working that part-time job would give me so much time to pour into my passion, it takes so much stress off me, and I would literally just be able to get to the bag outside of my passion without having to worry about a whole bunch of other things. And if I'm being honest with you, that was nothing but my pride, because I didn't want my life to look any less put together. When I tell you it's so normal, like I know so many artists, so many creatives, content creators, so many people who have different gigs, different passions that have part-time gigs as well. It is nothing to be ashamed of. Whether you work at a grocery store or you're doing DoorDash, you babysit, a coffee shop gig, whatever. If it helps you with the bills, do it. I have so many goals and so many plans for my passion, for my content, and I will not let working 40 hours plus a week at a job that I hate stand in the way of that anymore. That may not be your story, but for me in this season, that is definitely mine. And I literally cannot wait to see how much more at peace I am and how much more my content and other passions can pop off from this shift.
So one of the best things I did this year was get a part-time job on top of my 9-to-5 because I just feel like it adds so much structure to my life. So I basically work at the front desk at Club Pilates, and I will work there from like 6 a.m. to 8:30 in the morning on weekdays, well, twice a week, and then full day on Sunday, which is fine because we close early. And I don't know, like that just gave me so much confidence. It's like I have this new little sphere of people that I know, and I get free classes. I was never doing it for the free classes, but like I don't allow myself to get less than 8 hours of sleep. So I'm very intentional with like my evenings now, and like once I get home at like 8:30 a.m. and I have to start my 9-to-5, I'm like making breakfast, I shower, I put on my makeup, and I go. But it doesn't make that any harder because you can get like an easy part-time job, and I'm using that money to fund like my fun stuff, and that's just so nice to have. So there's no loss in having an extra job because you will still find a way to make everything you want fit, and you will probably do a better job than without having any kind of like framework at all.
Normalize getting a part-time job, a seasonal job, whatever that may be, at your favorite store. It is okay to get the seasonal part-time job. It is okay. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about it. Don't make yourself feel bad about it. Go to your favorite store, apply to it, get that discount, get that extra money. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, just do it and feel good about it. Let me tell you, I am going to have a part-time job at one of my ultimate favorite stores, and I'm so excited. I have my full-time job, and now I'm going to do this seasonally, part-time in the evenings or weekends or whatever. I'm so excited. I get a discount. I get to go there on a weekly basis. I get to see everything that people buy, and I don't think I've ever been more excited about a job than I currently am. So if you're struggling, or just if you want to, normalize getting a part-time job, a seasonal job, whatever that may be, at your favorite store. That's all.
Alright guys, a couple weeks ago I made a video asking if you were a full-time corporate girly and you have a part-time job, what do you do? And the video has literally gotten thousands of comments with different ideas. So if you're a corporate girly who's also looking for a part-time job for whatever reason that you need it, then keep listening. I did see some comments talking about how we shouldn't glamorize burning ourselves out, and although I completely agree with that, the reality of our current economic situation for a lot of us is different. Some of us make more money than others. Some of us have different reasons. Maybe you want a part-time job to travel, to buy yourself clothes, whatever, because it's already tight with whatever you make in your salary or your corporate job. then there's just like a million reasons. So I don't want to glamorize burning yourself out. Definitely rest and find out what you need to do for yourself. Keep your mental health at check, but also don't feel bad if the reality for you right now is that you need a part-time job doing something else, or maybe you just really want a different job just to get out of the routine of your regular corporate job. With that said, I'm literally just gonna go kind of like themes that I saw throughout the comment section. Like I said, there was over 1,000 comments, so I try to find things that were common and that people were doing. So one of the first things is a lot of people work gyms at the front desk, or they work at fitness studios. They're instructors, they work the front desk. Apparently you can get a free membership, you're making money, and that actually sounds fun. And honestly not a bad idea if instead of paying for a gym membership, you're already getting it paid and then you work a couple hours a week. A lot of other people are event coordinators or staff tearing down weddings, tearing down events. Then we have DoorDash, Uber Eats, etc. So things like that where you can make some extra money. We have some baristas, which is actually kind of what I'm looking into to work at a coffee shop, but I haven't fully decided yet. But that is another option too. Maybe you can find a local coffee shop or Starbucks, whatever, and get a couple hours there a week. We have a lot of waitresses, servers, bartenders, and apparently that's really good money. Depends if you want to find maybe like a bougier restaurant in your area, you could pay more. We also have a lot of people who are doing social media management, content creation, UGC, and things like that, which is also what I'm trying to do. And we all know that it can be good money, but working our way up to actually being paid can take some time. So, but if you're making money out of that, that's also a great idea. Then moving on, we have people who are a notary. So somebody commented that it's $150 to get certified, and you can get paid $150 to $200, depends on a week, depending on how many signings you do. You can do tutoring, you can work at a retail, a lot of people work at Lululemon, Anthropologie, places like that where you can also get a really good discount, which will in turn help you if you shop at those places a lot. So maybe you like a specific store, maybe you want to work there to get the discount. A lot of people also dog sit and cat sit. You can do Rover, word of mouth. There's different apps for that, and a lot of people do that. But if you don't like animals, then probably not something you want to do. I'm right there with you. Not that I don't like animals, but I don't really know how to take care of them. But if you do and you love working with animals, that's a great option as well. Another big thing that I saw is people starting their own businesses and different things like that. It's using your career in the things that you already know and have knowledge in, and then working with that outside of your part-time job or outside of your corporate job. A lot of people, or their hobbies, a lot of people teach tennis, pickleball, a lot of people tutor, a lot of people do freelance social media marketing or just marketing on the side. So using the knowledge that you have from a degree or what you already do professionally, and then applying that to a part-time job and creating your business could also be really good. Another one that I saw was real estate and then babysitting, being a nanny. There's a ton more left, and you can scroll through on the comments in this TikTok, but those are some of the main themes that I saw, and just some ideas if you're looking for a part-time job as a full-time corporate person or just have a full-time job. Anyways, don't burn yourself out, but also don't feel bad if you need a second job for whatever reason. I work full-time in accounting, and I'm moving next year, so I'm trying to find like places where I can make a little bit of extra cash to put aside and to save, or just to use that cash for clothes or different things like that. So don't feel bad if you have to get a second job, but also don't burn yourself out. And I hope this video was helpful, and let me know if you like corporate content and what else. And if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments below.
I'm experimenting working different jobs and making income in different ways besides a 9-to-5, so you don't have to. I'm super in the beginning stages of this, but I've learned a lot of things so far. Research is key. So many people just talk about doing a quick solution. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna become this. No, you actually have to research in depth and figure out a plan. It's not like you just start creating content or become a Pilates instructor. There is so much behind the scenes that goes into that, which is why 99% of people don't do that, because it's actually really hard. The same way that a professional career requires you to kind of master something and be a professional at that, you need to be a professional at content creating or teaching yoga or Pilates or digital design or freelancing, whatever. You have to be a master. That's why all these people quit, because it gets really hard before it gets easier, but once you pass a certain threshold, you will just start making progress that goes up. It's gonna be like that. So my main piece of advice is to be patient and kind to yourself in the beginning stages, which
kind of random, but am I the only one that misses working like those easy little part-time high school college type jobs, like working in a retail store where nothing was ever too deep or too serious, like calling out, like, yeah, it didn't look good on you, but no one really cared. Like, everyone would do it left and right. Like, you would be a few minutes late, nobody cared. Like, your manager was like 21, the supervisor was like 18. Like, nothing was ever too deep or too serious. Don't get me wrong, I'm a 25-year-old nurse. I love what I do, but sometimes I'm like, I miss those jobs. And those jobs had the best coworkers. And then the older ladies that worked there were so cool. Like, they were like your work moms. Like, I miss those jobs.
Here it is, another day, another dollar. Yes, it is Sunday. It is the Sabbath day, and I went to church. Praise the God. Praise the Lord. That's what I meant to say. Praise the Lord. Amen. Went through church, but if you want to live how I've been living, if you want to fly like I've been flying, baby, you better go sit your butt at somebody's part-time job. Mine is real easy, real desk, real hello. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make my money. Never too good. God has blessed me too much, baby. I am humble. Humble queen. You better be humble, get you a part-time job, and go about your business. Love.
I had the bright idea that it would be smart for me to get another job. But this time I was figuring, since I'm really thinking about honing in on money 2024, I was thinking, like, I definitely wanted to try to, like, change the environment of where I worked to, like, exude money. You know what I mean? And, like, you know how they always say, like, the main character, like, energy, like, live your life like you're the main character. So I was like, okay, now I want to work somewhere else. If I'm gonna work somewhere, okay, cool, I'm working at the hospital, so I have my hospital day job, right? I'm a biomedical engineer, so your girl is smart, you know? So, okay, so what's your second, your new character? Who am I adding on to my persona at this point in my life, right? So at this stage of my life, I am giving, like, country club vibes, right? Because, like, just think, hear me out, though. Hear me out. So, thinking, like, if you're around people who are making money, why wouldn't you start making money? If you are around people who carry themselves a certain way, who are doctors, lawyers, professional, whatever, marketing analysts, data analysts, like, whatever, investors, whoever has knowledge. These people are knowledgeable people. Let me not just make it seem like they're the better people. No, it's because of the knowledge that they possess. So I figured I want to get a new job. I want to use it to, like, benefit myself, like, really level myself up, take it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking country club. Duh. Like, duh. Because then I can bartend and get to know, and it's like regulars, because when you're at a country club, you're a member. So, like, you're paying for a membership. So, like, that's the only way you can go. So the people who are coming are always coming because they pay to go there. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I'm building a rapport with these people, women, men, because everyone's there. And I just feel like it will help me bring myself into the next level that God's about to take me into. I just feel like they always say the saying, birds of a feather flock together. Well, like, I'm finna start flocking with the birds with the money on. Because, I guess I was rolling with broke people before because of something. Because I don't know, like, that's just not the life that I want for myself. So, I had an interview today. Isn't that crazy? I literally said yesterday, okay, I'm going to apply for this job. So I randomly, I'm going to apply for this job. And, sorry, somebody just messaged me, and girl, we'll get into that later. But anyway, so, boom, I applied for this job yesterday. They called me. I applied that morning at like 8 a.m. Then they called me at like 3 yesterday and was like, can you come in for an interview? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And they were like, okay, when can you come in? Whatever time works best for you. And they're like, okay, come tomorrow. That's awesome. Tomorrow works perfectly for me, right? Bagged it. Then I go to the interview and I serve them me. Like, she's asking me questions and I'm like, girl, she's like, do you know wines? Girl, I can drink. I can figure them out. What are we talking about? You finna hire me or what? She's like, name one of your strengths and weaknesses. Bitch, I'm good at everything. You're not finna start messing up my affirmations this early in the year. I'm good at everything and I don't got no weaknesses. the devil. He's a weakness. Anywho, so I just went and came back from this interview, and I cannot wait. Like, it's so cute in there. I'll get to go have my own membership, which means I can go golfing, I can go to the tennis court, I can go like do so much stuff. I can go swimming. Like, I'm so excited. Like, y'all have no idea. So if y'all are ever thinking of, like, right now you're running a second job, right, and you really don't know what to do, you just want to have, like, I don't know, you're single, you don't have kids, like, you just want to have fun right now, but you don't want to do, like, anything too spicy, because, like, I love having fun, right, but I don't want to do nothing too spicy. Like, I don't like all that heat, you hear me? So I thought this was, like, just enough, like, rare, you know, like, rare, yeah. So, like, I'm so excited. I had the interview just a few minutes ago. She said she had 3 more people to talk to and interview, and then she's gonna call me back, and then I'm gonna come back again, and I'm gonna talk to their other manager. And I mean, it's not really making much, just making like $18 an hour, but to bartend, and I get to keep my tips, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, yes, ma'am. So, I don't know, I'm so excited. I feel like this is the next episode of, like, Gilmore Girls for me. So, like, this is the next episode of Lacey May's Diary. Okay? So, like, y'all are just, I'm literally living through you guys right now. So, I will let you guys know and keep you guys posted. But definitely, if you're looking for a new job and just want something to, like, spice up your soft girl era life, definitely get a part-time job at a country club. Just try it. Walk with me, talk with me. I'm doing it. I'll show you. Bye.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Y'all, I'm leaving my work shift at Ulta. And one thing I really love about a job in the retail industry is you will only pretty much work 4-hour shifts on average. Maybe a 6-hour shift, maybe an 8-hour if you're lucky. But for me, the 4 hours are my favorite, because by the time I notice I've been at work for a while, and it hits like, damn, how much longer do I have until my shift? I'm getting about tired, right? By the time that shit clicks in my head, my shift's almost over. By that time, I literally have less than an hour left into my shift. And I love that. Like, I just worked a 4-hour shift, and even though it was 7 to 11, it felt like it went by even faster. Like, I felt like I literally just got there, I started working, I ain't look at my phone for a while, and look at the clock. And next time I looked at the clock, it was 10:03. I said, damn, I only got like 40 minutes left into my shift for real. And now look at me on my way home. Let's get it.
Hey, if y'all know me, anybody ever been out with me, you know I will turn into the guest lecturer for all the reasons Black people need to go get a job in IT, right? Please don't take me to your local bars, clubs, wherever. I'm going to preach the message of IT because it changed my life. Here's what's important. I do the same thing at the barbershop. Okay, I like to be consistent. So I'm talking to my barber. He's like, yeah. I'm like, he gets, I'll be flying. I'll be getting haircuts because I'm flying. So he's like, where do you work? We talk about that. I'm like, you should come to IT, blah, 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 blah. At the end, I do my evangelism. He was like, I really should come to IT. So he starts looking at companies like while I'm sitting there, and then I started thinking, I said, you're calling maybe IT for barbers, okay? You can't get too far away from the shop. For me, we go together. So let's find you another, like a little part-time IT. So this is a message for those of us who like to tell people to go to IT. Make sure it's not you don't want to tell the girl who do your bust down to go to IT. We need her to do something else, So word of caution. Okay, bye.
Guys, in this economy, there are so many people who get another job. They already have full-time work, but they need that extra income. So they get another part-time job. It's tough out here, honestly. It's tough. Even for me, I work 12 hours of overtime. A lot of us need the extra funds, honestly. And it sucks, but this is the state of the world that we live in right now. And you have to find ways to adapt and survive.
I have to tell you what the best part-time job in the world is. I feel like this job is such a secret and not enough people know about it. I didn't even know about it until maybe 6 years ago and immediately jumped straight into it. I was at church one morning and the pastor's wife came in and she was like, I just got done with work. And I'm thinking, what work starts so early in the morning that you're already done by 10 a.m.? She's like, oh, I work out at the airport. And I didn't know any of the jobs at the airport. Like, me thinking of airport jobs, I was like, TSA. She said, no. So she describes to me how she works for this company that operates the planes out there. Basically, the person that you go up to the desk and watch people yell at, pretty much. But there's also customer service where you work outside. So I live in Jackson Hole, and our airport is in the national park, Grand Teton National Park. It's the most beautiful airport in the US, I have to say. It's very small. We only have a few airlines come in and out of here. So I was immediately like, I need the details of this job because I need these flight benefits, because she was telling me that by working there, she got to fly for free. And I was like, this is absolute insanity. How has no one told me that this job exists? I get it. Usually when you look out your window and you see people putting bags in your plane, it's usually like these like big grown men. And you're like, okay, that's who does that job. But no, us chicks can do it too. I met so many cool people out there. I mean, all of us living here in Jackson Hole, like a lot of us were working service-based industry jobs, and I just worked for myself as an artist. So I had my own timeline and I had time to do this. So you meet a bunch of people that are working the same jobs, kind of on the same like wavelength, and everybody's just really excited to travel the world. And that's kind of like the type of person that's out there. So you're just going to meet all these travelers, which is my favorite thing ever. You can take a trip whenever you want. You can like stack your schedule so that it works out where you can take like a week and a half off at a time, so you can go anywhere in the world. I could go on and on about the perks of this job, but it's insane. And I have to say, this airport here, Jackson Hole Airport, is probably one of the better places to work just because it's so small and so beautiful, and there's not too many planes. So it was just like the prime. I worked there for 3 years and I ended up leaving because the company that I was working for, it's like a middleman kind of in between like the big airlines. It's like a regional airline. It pulled out of Jackson. And so I could have ended up working for the next companies. But at that point, I just decided to take a break from working for the airlines for a little bit. And the whole issues around the world happened. So I'm actually glad that I stopped working then, because it would have sucked to work in the airline industry for like, those few years that were a disaster. I feel like one day I want to go back to doing something for the airlines in some capacity, because it is just so great to fly standby. And I actually wish I just had a family member who worked for them, because that would make it a lot easier for me. But I dream about those business class tickets and those flights overseas every day, because it was just so amazing.
Okay, what was a part-time job you had that like just completely abused your availability? I worked at Victoria's Secret for like just a seasonal employee when I was a sophomore in college, and like the job I had in high school was so flexible. It was a seasonal job. If you weren't available, it was fine. You can call off a day of. Compared to this job, it was so fucking different. When they were recruiting people for the job, the part-time job that only paid like $11 an hour, when they were recruiting for that job in like the school cafeteria, and I wrote down my availability being like, I'm only available maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have classes. They were like, well, if you want a better chance of getting hired, you should really say that you're available for the whole week, because they look for that. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm available on these days when I literally have class and I don't have time to come into work like that day, right? But whatever, I was desperate for a job, so I did say that I was available on those days. Fast forward, I get hired. Me and two other girls, we had to dress in our attire, all black, formal-ish looking clothes. We're doing our onboarding at like, it was supposed to be 12 o'clock. We're supposed to be, signing our papers, shadow the girls on the floor for like 30 minutes and then go home. The manager took forever to get to us. Like, we didn't even start until like 2 o'clock because she was running around all day and was too busy to like tend to us while we were literally trying to onboard. And after we did the onboarding, which again, I wrote my availability down and said, like, I'm not going to be able to work a full 40 hours. Like, honestly, I could probably only work, like, maybe 20 hours a week because I'm so busy with school. They're like, you should really say that you're available for the whole week. Like we're not actually going to put you on those days, but we just need you to be available just in case. No, because okay, let me not get ahead of myself. After we did the onboarding and we were supposed to shadow, next thing you know, we were there until fucking close. And we literally had to stay while they were closing up the fucking store at 9 p.m, folding shit and putting shit away, when we were only supposed to be there for 1 hour. I got shoved at their fucking register when they were in the middle of a sale, and I'm like, I don't fucking know how to do all this shit right now. because I don't even really shop there either. So I'm like, I don't know anything about this fucking store and all these deals. I'm just looking for a fucking job. And I was supposed to just shadow someone for an hour. You have me working for the whole fucking day? Like, this is ridiculous. It wasn't supposed to be my fucking first day. The other girls were on the floor just actually selling shit. And then for the next couple months, they would schedule me when they knew I had class. I wasn't supposed to start until 6 p.m. because I have class on until 5 p.m. on like a Tuesday or a Thursday. I'm driving to work. My boss calls me. She goes, "Hey, Brielle, so it's 5:30. Why aren't you here?" And I'm like, because I'm not supposed to start till 6 o'clock, and I get out of class at 5 o'clock. You know, part two.
You know what's crazy is how we be like, you shouldn't need 2 to 3 jobs to make ends meet, and people be like, oh well, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's like, okay, well, let me get a second job. But then these jobs be wanting open availability. They be discriminating against people who already got a part-time job or a full-time job. It's like, why do you want open availability and you're paying $11 an hour, max 15, maybe 30 hours a week? It's like, what is that paying? Nothing. Why do you want my full open availability and you're paying scraps? Scraps. That barely pays my car note. Like, let's be for real. Take what you can get.
For sure. So I can't work a regular 9-to-5 job. I have tried. I physically can't. It just doesn't work for me. I get bored so easily. I'm a Gemini. So I need some variety. I need some change in my life. And most importantly, I need to be doing something that I'm passionate about. Otherwise, like I said, I just get bored. Fun fact, I used to work a sales customer service job for almost a year, and I hated every second of it. So I have tried it. I have tried it out for sure, and it was totally not for me. But props to anyone who does do that. It's hard. So instead, I work a handful of part-time jobs, all of which help fulfill my artistic needs and help me pay my bills. Probably my most regular and... Someone's having a party outside. Get it. Anyway, my most consistent and I'd say lucrative part-time job is I nanny. I watch a sweet little 2-year-old boy about 2-3 times a week. And I have always enjoyed working with children. So for me, finding a part-time nanny gig was sort of like a no-brainer. My second part-time job is I am a voice teacher. I have a certificate in advanced vocal pedagogy, as well as a degree in musical theater. And I absolutely love teaching voice. The only problem with this job is that it is not always consistent or guaranteed. I have a different number of lessons every single week. Sometimes I have 10 lessons a week or more. Sometimes I have none. It really just depends. Regardless, teaching is my second passion next to performing in musical theater. My third part-time job. I work for a theater company within my area that hires theater instructors to go into some of the inner city schools to teach theater classes. This can happen anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And the classes are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, so not too long. The theater company receives grants and funding to help hire teaching artists and bring them to the community to teach the theater classes. That's me. And my fourth and final part-time job at the moment, I am extremely fortunate to live in an area that has a thriving theater community. And a lot of the theaters within my area pay their actors, which is amazing. So, for example, I just closed a production of Beauty and the Beast, and I was getting paid for that bi-weekly, which was wonderful and extremely helpful for paying my bills. So those are the part-time jobs that I'm doing now, except for Beauty and the Beast. And I love not having a full-time job. That might sound crazy, but I love the flexibility. I love that I'm active all day, every day. And I love that I'm doing something different at every job. Here's a little peek at how I fit these jobs into my week and still have time to film self-tapes and audition.
Guys, when you start uni, you're going to need a part-time job, and my top tier advice is to not work at KFC. I've worked at KFC, I've done that before, right? And it's not something you want to do. I can get into everything, and that lady is just walking and staring at me, and to be honest, I don't really care. But I've done that before, right? And working at KFC isn't for the weak. You get sexually assaulted, you get abused by management. Okay, lady, look at me all you want. Right, and yeah, just don't work. You know what, scrap that. Don't work in any kind of fast food establishment. Please just don't.
Yup, if you are in school, get a chill job. Do not get a job that is extremely stressful. Get a chill full-time job or a chill part-time job. Do not get a stressful job, especially if you're in school. Especially if you have hard classes while you're in school. Do not get a stressful job. That is the best advice I can give you.
Okay guys, I have an update on the serving job, and to be honest with you, I'm embarrassed. Like, I'm really embarrassed because I sat on here and told 82,000 of you that I was getting a part-time job as a server. I did get a part-time job as a server on top of my 9 to 5. Today was my first day. I went in and I was not expecting to walk out after an hour and a half, but I did. I just, like, when you know, you know. And I had to go, dude. I had to go, unfortunately. I'm really embarrassed to post this video because you guys have been so supportive and so kind and just, like, gave me the best tips, and I honestly was feeling really good going into today. But, like, I can just tell this is not what the universe wants me to do right now, unfortunately. And I was just getting this job for, like, extra fun money, pretty much. I have a full-time job, so I don't, yeah, and I'm obviously lucky and grateful that I do, but, like, I would 100% be better off just door dashing for a couple days a week for extra money. I don't know what else I can say, right now. I just need to, like, process things. Okay, yeah.
I just found out my part-time job was illegally making us clock out for breaks. They about to hate me, boy. They about to hate me.
If you're thinking of quitting your job, don't do it, because I've been looking for a job and I finally got a job, and guess what? Guess how much hours a week they want to give me? 9 hours a week. 9 hours a week. So if you have a job, no matter how horrible it is, consider yourself lucky to have a job. The only exception is fast food, because fast food is, like, the demon of all demons.
Oh, and if you got a motherfucking job, I don't give a fuck if you waiting to exhale. You better hold on to that motherfucking job and hold your breath. Because I'm telling you, the market's so motherfucking shit. Nobody's hiring. You better find new ways to cope with that motherfucking position. I don't care what it is. I don't care. And if you on the verge of getting fired, you better uno reverse. Like now, because I'm telling you, you ain't gonna find nothing. It's nobody hiring right now. And it's been for a while. Every second that I'm on the verge of, like, you know what, do I really need this shit? I know I can bounce. For real. I'm feeling unappreciated, overworked, underpaid. I'm just feeling, I remembered how long it took me to get this job when I left my last job. Like, we may have to hold on to these jobs for the next 4 years. I don't know what he done in the office that made everybody fucking mad and they just stopped hiring altogether. Indeed, it's scary as fuck right now. We don't even know who the fuck them people is behind that app anymore. Glassdoor, you can use that all you want, but nobody's gonna respond. You gonna hear from a recruiter and then nothing. It's just best to hold tight of where you at. Because I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck if you got an associate's, a master's, a bachelor, whatever the fuck come after that. So real talk, whatever you got to do to keep your job, keep your job. See it through. I don't give a fuck if you put the glasses on. But see it through.
Hey. I don't know if you knew, but with, like, this fake job, I pay rent, I pay my groceries, I live financially independent from my parents, and on top of that, I'm saving on average $1,000 a month. So I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
I'm 26 and I genuinely think that getting a part-time job is actually saving my life. And if you are in any type of transitional phase and you don't feel as if you're handling that phase well, I cannot encourage it enough. So for context, my mom passed a little over a year ago and that absolutely ruined me. I had a really hard year that year and she passed in December of 2022. So that felt like the final straw. So all of 2023, I just couldn't do anything. I was struggling mentally so bad. And I knew I needed to work. And I had come from just being an entrepreneur. I had a corporate job for like 6 months, but I had gotten laid off. So most of my time I was an entrepreneur and I just felt stuck that whole entire year. And so this year I was like, I cannot be in that anymore. And as I was like reflecting, I remember what my therapist told me last year. I'm gonna blow this over my hands, y'all. Don't judge me, but yeah. I remember my therapist was telling me last year, he was like, maybe you should get a part-time job. And I was like, that's not gonna be enough money to pay the bills. Like, I need to get back to my business or I need to go find a corporate job. So this year I decided to do it. And I get what he was talking about 100%. I applied for this place that is so close to my apartment. It literally involves no thought work. I literally walk there. And it feels so much like me. And it has helped me just mentally check out, but like check in to something to where I still feel as if I accomplished something. Before was just rotting at home. Like I would go back to my business, but then I would rot. I'd go back to try to apply to corporate jobs, but then I'd rot. And this has helped me feel alive again. And I cannot stress how helpful it has been for my mental health. I know at first I didn't want to do it because obviously you're like, what are people going to think about me? Like, it's a part-time job. Like, I have this college degree. I have all this experience in business. Like, people are going to think I failed. But honestly, I've won. Like, being able to make this decision, like I said, truly feel like saved my life. And I know part-time jobs pay like sometimes next to nothing, so I probably wouldn't recommend this if you have a lot of expenses, but I do still have my business, so I'm able to work this part-time job and do a little for my part-time business to keep me afloat. Like, the way I look at it is I tell myself, I love myself so much that I am willing to do whatever I need to do to make sure I feel good. And then I know some people are like, well, why don't you just work more in your business? Like I said, my mental state was so inconsistent that, and I love my business so much, I'm going to do what it takes for me and my mental health to stay afloat so that my business can stay afloat. So that's also then helping my thought process. But I just thought I would share that because I feel as if we don't see people taking untraditional routes too often, but I'm so pro doing what you need to do for your mental health. And even, I've only been there for like 2 weeks, and I've already made so many new connections and just feel this sense of life that I haven't felt in a long time. So I thought I would share that with you all.
Can someone help a girl out and tell me which part-time job y'all are getting? Because I am deteriorating at home. I work remotely Monday through Friday, full-time job in sales, and I need something to do on the weekends that pays well. And truthfully, I just need to socialize with people outside of my work. So if someone has an idea, please help a girl out.
If you're a girly who just knows 9-to-5 world is not for you, like, there's something deep in me where I refuse to work like a normal 9-to-5 job. I'm doing everything in my fucking power this year to build a life for myself that doesn't involve me going to work, working all day, coming home and wanting to kill myself and then doing it again and again. I'm currently looking at yoga certification programs because I want to teach a fitness or yoga thing part-time. I want to make money online part-time. I am building an empire right now, so I don't even care if I don't make that much money a month. I just want to be able to support myself and slowly grow something over time that doesn't take all of my time and energy out of my whole life. It might sound delusional and you might be like, girl, grow up, reality check, but no, I'm gonna be delusional and I'm going to do this and I'm gonna start to, I think, document what I do every day, what I research online, where am I feeling it out. I guess this is day one of doing that, and I still have a part-time sales job where I barely make shit. I make enough to live. So I'm a broke girl, day one of me figuring it out.
Do you have any previous bar experience? No. Okay. Any waiting experience? No. Okay. What's your greatest achievement, would you say? What role do you play in a team? Just anything you've had as a team, you know, maybe friendship. You're loyal, okay? The ideas, that is exactly what we're looking for. So our ethos is reliable, loyal, and helpful. Customer is always right. That is really important to remember. So what examples can you give of being loyal, helpful, resilient? How often can you work? Saturdays. Okay, I know you're saying Saturdays, but I think that when we actually get you on, you will be able to work full time. Yeah, no, I know you've got school, but you will be able to work full time. And when you are doing your A-levels and things like that, and your revision and study and stuff, just so you know, the job does come first. You aren't going to be able to commit to that. I'm sorry, but we are going to have to say no. We do this, but because of how much you relate to our ethos, I am going to let you on. However, I am going to have to say that in future we are maybe going to have to fire you if you do put your A-levels first. You start Monday. You don't work Mondays. Well, you do now.
I just unsubscribed from LinkedIn job alerts. Not because I found a job, I'm still unemployed, but because the job now has to search for me. I'm no longer searching. I'm no longer doing that. Oh, now y'all don't want to clap.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.